So again, I want to stress LLVM is we don't set kind of goals for future releases. A lot of it is kind of demand driven. So if you're interested in one particular area, in code gen, in any other area, participate, write code, submit to us, and that you can effectively drive the schedule of LLVM. So your participation is greatly appreciated. I want to say when I started on LLVM a year or so ago, there's only about 2 or 3 code generator guys and gals on this. Now I see a lot more. So it's pushing it forward. It's making it better. Thank you. Question?
Yeah. What is the feeling about doing hardware-specific optimization, or hardware-specific transformation for the earlier passes?
In earlier, definitely some. So I'm talking about codegen. For some targets, we do have target specific passes for doing optimization or doing fix-ups. Normally, you just write your own paths and plug that into your target specification. We encourage as much whenever it's possible to make a target independent with some target hooks that so everybody can benefit. But there is mechanism for doing target independent passes.
For representing conditional registers, one problem then is that almost every instruction is going to have more than one output value.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any work on improve the instruction selection to better handle that case? That's kind of using those.
We currently does not model it at all.
Mm-hmm.
So at what granularity we're going to model, I'm not sure at this point. It's also very dependent on target.
Currently, you just said a flag in the DAG, but the problem is if you really say that it's a real hash that outputs, like it generates a subtraction, generates the subtraction itself and a flag register, then almost every instruction is going to have 2 outputs.
Right.
And the current instruction selection doesn't work all that well.
Right. So there are 2 extremes to this approach. I mean, two extreme approaches. You can model as a single condition code register, everything, just by everything modified. Or you can kind of have each one of them as a separate one. Then one instruction may change multiple of these registers. So there's a trade-off. I'm leaning towards the former, and if you want to have a proper instruction selection, you may request a post patch with more detailed knowledge to fix that. I think that might be a kind of reasonable kind of trade-off kind of approach to fixing that problem. So if you model everything at a too fine-grained level, you may pay a very high penalty for compile time, just the amount of work you have to put into it.
So I think the concern is that if you have right now the TD files you can't write a pattern for something that produces multiple results.
Right.
So if everything in the x86 backend produces a condition code and some other register, that means we can't write any patterns for it? Or what does that mean?
Right now we can't. That's something we have to add. Simple as that. Just something that we have to go in and just fix. Then you can say this instruction and modify this resource, or maybe we can find a better representation, easier way of dealing with it. It's kind of open at this point.
How do you handle intrinsics in LLVM? Do you have target-specific intrinsics?
Yes, we have many intrinsics. x86 have a whole bunch of them, for example. So again, that's handled at the instruction selection time. Intrinsics up to that point is sort of like a function call. So instruction selection is going to translate into a target specific instruction, just like any other thing.
Another question: if I have a choice of doing an optimization that does instruction combining, like add followed by shifts, and combine 2 shifts and add, would I be better off writing that as a people where it can be reapplied after subsequent code gen transformations? We're doing it all in the instructions.
So that's mostly done in the data combiner. If it's something sort of beneficial to all the platforms, you definitely will be encouraged to add it as a target-dependent transformation. If it's more of a target-dependent kind of information, kind of transformation, there's ways you can do that. And depending on how bad the hack is, or how, there is some details, but there are ways to do that.
Related question, do you have a people optimization which is exclusive on the instructions, on low-level instructions? Or can you have people optimization instruction sequence defined for targets?
We have. Again, there are folks to do that kind of stuff, but mostly working on DAGs rather than on this readdress code, I think, in most cases.
Yeah, in general, we don't have a target-independent people engine thing like GCC does.
Target-dependent people.
Well, so in the instruction selection phase, there's this multi-phase thing where we convert from generic operations to operations and target supports. And through that translation, you generate a whole bunch, potentially lots of different sub-operations. Those all need to be optimized heavily and eliminated and be simplified. But right before instruction selection, then, what you're selecting is a graph that accurately reflects the capabilities of the target. And so that's the time you want to do people transformations. And so that's actually done on the DAG, not on a 3-address code representation, which makes it really cheap and easy to do these transformations because it's basically data flow property and it's all implicit. So targets can find their own hooks and do that kind of stuff.
Just last question, because Reed is giving me this.
So other transformations are typically done at a very low level, like inner loop unrolling. Where do you do those?
Oh, those are target-independent passes. It's before code generation. It's sort
so
of
how do you know the costs and all that of the particular target?
Well, in general, the philosophy of LLVM is to do your optimization as aggressive as possible, and for the later passes to fix earlier passes over progression.
Well,
for example, that's the general philosophy.
So loop unrolling is a little different, but so we don't have until Dan implemented, we didn't have a loop unroller that unrolled variable loops that executed a variable number of times, and so we actually don't do any of that in the code generator. If target really wanted to do that, then it would be a target independent code gen pass that's aware of register pressure and scheduling constraints and all that kind of stuff. And it would be similar to the branch folding pass or the code label, those kinds of things in the code generator. So LLVM works the same way as any other compiler in that sense. So.
Okay.